we're outgoing.
Roger that. We're standing by out here.
See you soon. Hey, Dave, you coming?
Hello and welcome to Outside Xbox and some gameplay captured direct from an Xbox Series X, the new next generation Xbox launching at the end of the year that will be going head to head with the PlayStation 5. Our friends at Digital Foundry, link in the description below, are among the first people outside of Microsoft to see the next Xbox in action, and they very kindly shared their footage with us. You'll notice that this is footage from Gears of War 5, a game that you could, if you weren't watching high quality YouTube content from your favourite Xbox channel, be playing right now on an Xbox One or One X. But while this isn't an all new game, both new and older games are going to be radically different on the Xbox Series X. Here are 7 ways how.
Just tell us where to go, Control.
I'll do my best.
This is the obvious one, so let's get it out of the way first. Series X will boast sharper graphics. Given that the console is twice as powerful as an Xbox One X and 4 times as powerful as an Xbox One S, you'd sort of hope so, wouldn't you? Gears 5 on an Xbox One X is already a pretty impressive technical feat, and outside of the cutscenes runs at 4K and 60 frames per second. So the key fidelity difference you're looking for in this example is the texture quality, which is now equivalent to the graphical setting called Ultra on the PC version. Basically, all the sliders turned up to 11, Spinal Tap style. In fact, Digital Foundry's performance analysis finds that even in an unoptimised port of Gears of War 5 that was thrown together in just a couple of weeks, the Series X boasts performance equivalent to high-end PC graphics cards like the GeForce 2080 RTX. That graphics card alone runs into several hundreds of dollars, even before you've bought a processor, RAM, and one of those PC cases stuffed full of distracting LEDs. Naturally, this is only the beginning. As games are built specifically for Series X, we'll have potential resolutions up to 8K, and the baseline target for most titles will be 4K resolution and a massive 120 frames per second. So that'll be all the resolution you need without buying a new television, delivered at liquid smooth frame rates. That is not the whole story in terms of graphics though. The graphics technology stuffed into the Series X features a technology new to consoles called ray tracing. But who is Ray, and what exactly is he tracing? I've just been informed that ray tracing involves tracing the path of rays of light, ensuring that they travel and bounce around the environment in an entirely realistic fashion. That means accurate reflections from everything in the environment, even objects you wouldn't consider to be reflective. This ray tracing enabled version of Minecraft was built by one guy over the course of a month, presumably powered by many snacks, and while Minecraft isn't the most complex environment ever, you can see the immediate visual uplift. Think convincing glows from light sources and perfect shadows exactly where you'd expect them to be. In addition, if you're lucky enough to have an HDR television, Microsoft has worked out a way to intelligently apply HDR lighting to all games, including ones that never featured it in the first place. Like games from 2001 for example. We're pretty sure that the developers of the 19-year-old original Xbox launch title Fusion Frenzy would never have believed their game would be played at 4K with HDR in 2020. Or indeed played at all in 2020.
Samson wins!
Obviously upgraded visuals are welcome and indeed expected, but perhaps the most exciting element of this next generation is the near complete absence of loading times. Both Xbox Series X and PS5 are going to feature solid-state drive, or SSD, technology for rapid loading, but we know for sure that Microsoft is going to make full use of it with an instant switching feature. Designed to allow you to have 3 or 4 games on the go at once, the idea is that you don't quit the game, you just suspend it. The console saves the game state to the solid-state drive in a way that you can instantly resume from exactly where you were, which, let's be realistic, is probably the pause menu. Loading times take a few seconds and games can be resumed regardless of if you play something else, reboot the console, or even perform a system update. Given that a lot of us will be opting for a Game Pass subscription in order to stuff our Series X with all the first-party launch titles like Halo Infinite, Hellblade 2 and we expect Forza 8, being able to juggle 3 or 4 games at once is probably going to be pretty useful. In addition to frame rates up to 120 frames per second, which will make games feel more responsive by default, Microsoft has reworked how controllers talk to the console. With Series X, your pad will be operating more in sync with the graphical output of the console itself, ensuring the delay between you mashing a button or twiddling a stick and something happening on the screen is as imperceptible as possible. We already knew that any Xbox One controllers we had lying around will be compatible with the new console. What we didn't realise is that those older controllers can be upgraded to take advantage of this new responsiveness as well, simply by plugging the pad in and updating the firmware. So what's the benefit of using the new controller rather than our preferred controller, old trusty Killington? Well, the new Series X pad is slightly more inspired by the Elite controller, with a hybrid directional pad and a bit of extra grippy texturing. There's also a new sharing button directly on the controller, meaning you don't have to hit the guide button and then X to record a clip when you do something awesome or hilarious. Does increase the chances that you accidentally share a clip of you doing something embarrassing, however. Something to watch out for. According to Digital Foundry's report, Microsoft has 3 key tenets for the new Xbox Series X: power, speed, and compatibility, which coincidentally is exactly the same as Usain Bolt's Tinder bio. That last one, backwards compatibility, was a huge win for Microsoft this generation, and all the evidence suggests that the Series X is going to continue in that direction.
Today, I'm pleased to announce Xbox One backward compatibility.
As mentioned, that Gears 5 conversion took only 2 weeks, meaning update patches like the one already promised for Cyberpunk 2077 should be easy for developers to produce for anything released in the months running up to launch, particularly if they already have development kits. Microsoft has promised that the improved version of Gears 5 will be available at launch and downloadable for free if you already own it on Xbox or bought it via the Microsoft Store on PC. What's more, expect backwards compatibility patches to improve even more older Xbox One games like Gears Ultimate Edition to get them running at 4K and potentially at better frame rates too. It will still be a curated list rather than opening up the floodgates and converting absolutely everything, but you can look forward to a huge wave of new Series X improved back compat releases around launch and beyond. And don't forget that regardless of an upgrade patch, all your Xbox One games will run on the Series X in some form or another. So if you want to play the Xbox One version of Call of Duty Ghosts at its famously rubbish 720p resolution, you absolutely can. I mean, you won't, obviously, but the option's there. Series X technology isn't just going to improve things for owners of the console itself either. Microsoft has confirmed it'll be upgrading its Project X Cloud game streaming servers with the same technology as you'll find in the upcoming console. That means 2 things. The first is potentially higher image quality and frame rates from new and updated games than if the service continued to rely on the Xbox One versions of those same games. The second is increased capacity for more gamers to utilise the service concurrently, because this technology allows the server to run 4 Xbox One S games on a single chip at the same time. Maybe with this extra capacity we'll even see split-screen multiplayer support via xCloud for Xbox One games that never had it in the first place. It's worth pointing out though that we still don't know how much xCloud is going to cost on top of a regular Xbox Live or Game Pass subscription, and streaming quality is limited by latency and bandwidth, so don't assume you'll be getting Series X quality games streamed for free to your mobile phone while you unwrap a brand new PS5. Cheeky.
Kate is not ready for this. She can barely keep her eyes open.
If you want to tote around copies of your games between yours and your friend's house at the moment, you need to use an external USB drive. Probably a 2.5-inch hard drive with a cable that's just long enough to be annoying and just short enough to be pointless. Xbox Series X has a neat solution to this with an expansion port specifically for a custom-built pocket-sized Seagate solid-state drive, which runs at equivalent speed to the internal SSD. That means you can have extra portable storage that is still quick enough to run Series X games directly from it. Considering that games are only going to get larger with the improved graphical fidelity of the Series X and the fact that via Game Pass we're likely to have access to a lot of those games, we reckon storage space is going to be at more of a premium than ever before on the Series X. We can't imagine this expansion drive is going to be cheap based on existing PC SSD prices, but it might just turn out to be the essential purchase when you're shopping around for a console bundle, particularly as you've almost certainly already got Game Pass and an extra controller.
Need to search a place that's falling apart.
Quickly.
So that's 7 ways games will be different on the Xbox Series X. Thanks very much to Digital Foundry for providing us with this information and footage, and do go and check out their 2 videos on screen now for the full story about Xbox Series X and its technical capabilities from people who can almost certainly explain to you what a teraflop actually is. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time.